A queda de Dana Plato do horário nobre da televisão para os escândalos dos tabloides foi ainda mais espetacular do que as dos colegas. Ela não somente foi pega participando de um assalto à mão armada, mas foram as circunstâncias deste crime que fizeram o incidente mais estranho. Diff'rent Strokes. Dana Plato era a namoradinha da América e com a interpretação de Kimberly German, Dana encantou o coração de milhões de pessoas. Mas o personagem dela não era o principal foco da série, e isto refletia no salário dela. Comparada aos outros membros do elenco, Dana estava ganhando pouco.
Dana had the kind of personality, and she's very mercurial, you know, and you didn't know what Dana you would have on a daily basis, you know. If it was a good day, the night before, or a good morning, she came in and it was like sunshine. She was wonderful. If there had been a setback, something negative, that's the Dana that you got.
Os problemas da atriz começaram em 84, quando ela anunciou que estava grávida.
Dana came to work one day and she said to me, "Guess what, Connie? I'm going to have a baby." I said, "What?" She said, "Yes, isn't that wonderful?" I said, "Is this what you want?" She said, oh yes, I want it. I deliberately did that." I said, "Well, why would you want a baby now, at your age and where we are in the series?" And she said, "Well, don't you see, when I get the baby, I'll never be alone again. I won't be lonely anymore."
A NBC não ficou nada contente com a novidade. Uma mulher grávida não era o exemplo que eles queriam transmitir, e Dana Plato foi rapidamente demitida.
It was just weird, you know, it was really weird. I was a little bit uptight inside, and all that came from was them letting me go the way they did. You know, that's when that was starting to come out, you know. And that's where that came from, that's the place where that anger came from.
Dana ficou mais calma depois de um rápido casamento em Las Vegas com o namorado e pai do filho dela, Lenny Lambert, em 21 de abril de 84.
Here I'm in this black dress that everyone knows, because that's where you go to get your licenses to get married. I'm pregnant out to here. I'm crying, you know, and we're signing papers and people recognizing me.
Depois de um mês, nascia Tyler. Em 1985, apenas um ano depois, o casamento estava acabado. Ela e o filho voltaram para a casa da mãe em Canoga Park, Califórnia. Sem trabalho e desesperada, Dana, com 21 anos, começou a beber, tornando-se rapidamente uma bêbada em tempo integral.
She was pretty far gone. She was drinking almost a gallon of vodka and 2 six-packs a day at this time.
I was so wasted that it would take me a good 5 days to sober up to be able to go to work. Really, I was so wasted, sometimes 7. It took me a good week. So I'd have to do that, and that just got to be all too much.
Dana recebeu algumas ofertas de trabalho, mas mesmo os papéis pequenos eram muito difíceis para uma estrela em decadência.
I was taking parts. They'd give me like Love American Style, and you know, I did some things. I wasn't auditioning anymore because auditions would come. I'd have to stay sober all the time. You know, I couldn't wait for the call. Hell, you know, it was like I'd take the drink and unplug the phone.
A vida de Dana piorou ainda mais quando a mãe adotiva morreu em 88, depois de uma longa batalha com uma doença rara no sangue. Dana Plato então se fechou.
I didn't want anyone around me, especially somebody who cared about me. Just no way. I had my own thing going, and I had to make sure I was working really, really hard to just destroy anything that came into my path. I really would put energy toward it.
Dana estava com 24 anos e claramente fora de controle. Mal podendo cuidar de si mesma, ela passou a guarda do filho aos avós paternos dele e decidiu mudar-se para Las Vegas. Em 1989, Dana tinha gastado todo o dinheiro guardado. Desesperada para reavivar a carreira, Dana pensou longamente antes de posar nua para a revista Playboy em junho de 89. A atriz estava maravilhada por estar recebendo atenção novamente.
I gotta tell you, it was just the darndest thing. They called me up and I was like, wow, cool. I'm thinking to myself, I would pay y'all, really, just put me in the magazine.
Infelizmente, as fotos e a nova imagem não contribuíram para a carreira dela em Hollywood. Em 1990, Dana, então com 25 anos, voltou para Las Vegas, onde aceitou um trabalho em uma lavanderia que pagava pouco mais de $5 a hora.
I thought, well, that's kind of, you know, strange to come from a #1 hit TV show to working at a dry cleaner. But Dana said she quite enjoyed it. She made good tips, and she wasn't that bad a deal.
Mas Dana Plato pediu demissão no início de 90 devido a um conflito de personalidade com uma colega. Ela estava rapidamente decaindo. Gastava a maior parte do tempo em um bar chamado The Lakes Lounge. Ali, ela bebia e jogava nas máquinas de caça-níquel.
You get to a point where you've got no self-respect, you've got no anything, all you have is your bottle. You need to drink to get well. I needed to drink to get well 24/7. You know, it was very rare that I was drunk, really drunk. I was always wasted.
Aos 26 anos, Dana Plato não tinha dinheiro para o aluguel que já tinha vencido. Quando foi recusada para um emprego de $6 por hora para juntar o lixo e limpar os banheiros do prédio, Plato tomou medidas drásticas.
As an alcoholic, you act out. I knew I was dying. I knew, my subconscious knew that if I didn't do something very, very drastic, within a week or 10 days or 14 days, I would be dead.
Em 28 de fevereiro de 91, Dana fez algo drástico. De acordo com Heather Daly, caixa de uma loja de vídeos, este é um dia inesquecível.
It was a Thursday morning. I got there at 10, and the first thing we always do is count our tails, like anywhere else. And so, almost when I was done doing that, she came in and walked right up to the counter. She had a black hat on, a black baseball jacket, and she acted as though she had a gun.
And I literally said, just like we're sitting here right now, I said, give me all your money. That must have just been the funniest damn thing she saw in her whole life.
My response was, you've got to be kidding. And she pointed at me and she goes,
no, I'm not kidding. It was just like this. You know, there's no threat, there was no anything.
She was very cool. She acted like she'd done it before. She had no problem with it. And I think that's why I was more in shock than fear, because it just didn't seem real at the time.
Heather não revelou que havia mais de $1.000 no cofre próximo. Em vez disso, a caixa entregou os $164 da caixa registradora. Isto foi o suficiente para Dana. Com o dinheiro nas mãos, ela deixou a loja, mas deixou pistas. Heather reconheceu a ex-atriz.
I stood there in shock for about 3 minutes, and then I called 911, and I told them, the girl off Diff'rent Strokes, Kimberly Drummond, just robbed me. And the operator kept quizzing me as though she thought I was crazy. And I said, you tell me that there's a patrol car on the way, and I'll tell you everything you want to know.
A seguir, detalhes sobre o bizarro crime de Plato.
When the cops took the money off of her, they knew exactly how many 20s, 5s, and 10s they had, and then 1s.
Diff'rent Strokes.
Voltamos já com Sabaton. Entretenimento sem esforço.
Um super-herói nunca revela sua identidade.
Hey, I'm Kick-Ass. You mail me? Please. Oh, no, no. Oh.
A menos que esteja levando uma surra.
It'll hurt you, all right? Oh, no, it's me.
Seu nome, Kick-Ass.
Hey, gorgeous.
Hey, my only superpower was being invisible to girls.
Behind the Scenes, Kick-Ass. Inédito neste domingo.
Kick-Ass. Red Mist. Oh, that kind of hurt.
Só aqui, no I.
Capture o perfume da natureza. Novo Airic Aquamist. De um jeito leve e revigorante, sua casa fica com o frescor da natureza. Novo Airic Aquamist. Para usar até nos tecidos. Airic, como é bom estar em casa.
Estamos aqui para ver o que acontece quando as pessoas experimentam o novo Colgate Sensitive Pro Alívio. Massageie este novo creme dental em cada dente sensível por 1 minuto. Isso, massageia. Agora, beba um pouco de água gelada.
Tá de brincadeira, né?
Pode confiar.
Não tô sentindo nada.
Isso é gelo mesmo?
Muito rápida.
Tranquilo?
Ele neutraliza completamente, né?
Instantâneo.
Como é que isso funciona?
A fórmula ProArgin fecha instantaneamente os túbulos abertos que chegam aos nervos, bloqueando a sensibilidade. E escovando diariamente, o alívio é duradouro.
Faz muito tempo que eu não bebo água gelada.
Eu não senti dor nenhuma, que eu uso ela, se eu beber essa água, ia continuar doendo.
Novo Colgate Sensitive Pro Alívio. Alívio instantâneo e duradouro. Comprove você mesmo. Colgate, a marca número 1 em recomendação dos dentistas.
No auge da carreira nos anos 80, Dana Plato ganhava $22 mil por semana. Em 1991, aos 26 anos de idade, Dana estava falida, desempregada e era uma alcoólatra. Ela precisava de dinheiro, então voltou-se para o crime. Uma certa manhã, Dana calmamente entrou em uma loja de vídeo em Las Vegas e apontou uma arma exigindo dinheiro. Diff'rent Strokes. 15 minutos depois de Dana Plato ter roubado uma loja de vídeo de Las Vegas, a polícia começou a vasculhar a área. Em um beco atrás da loja, a polícia fez duas descobertas importantes. Primeiro, eles encontraram o boné preto usado no roubo. Depois, a ladra que voltou à cena do crime.
I came back down to give back the money. Genuinely, that's what my heart was. The first thing that dawned on me was, gosh, this does not belong to me. So I went down to give it back, unknowing, but knowing that I was going to get arrested. And I just basically walked right into it.
A caixa da loja, Hat Daily, lembra-se de um cenário um pouco diferente.
I guess from what we found out later, she had been at the bar earlier. She was wearing a totally different outfit, went home changed, came and robbed me, went home within a 15-minute period from the time the first undercover cop got there, and was headed back for the bar for an alibi.
Depois de Heather ter feito a identificação, Dana Plato foi interrogada e revistada. A polícia descobriu que ela ainda tinha $140 do dinheiro que tinha sido roubado.
She started saying that she just cashed her check that morning and that's why she had money on her. But what happened was I had just counted it out. I knew exactly what bills and how much she had on her. So when the cops took the money off of her, they knew exactly how many 20s, 5s, and 10s they had and then ones.
A polícia tinha provas suficientes para efetuar a prisão. Um grupo de curiosos assistiu quando Dana Plato, de 26 anos, foi levada pela polícia.
It's just so funny because I wasn't threatening anybody. I never once yelled or screamed or acted obliviated or anything. You know, I just was very calm and peaceful. It was just funny, though. You know, you really would have thought that I had a bomb on my body or something.
Dana foi levada para o Clark County Detention Center, onde foi oficialmente acusada e fichada por assalto à mão armada. Apesar de Dana estar acostumada a tirar fotos, esta foto foi um pouco diferente.
That's the only time I've ever looked at a camera and not smiled in my life. Naturally, a camera's in my face and I act an ignorant grin, and I didn't. And you can see it all over my face.
Depois da acusação, Dana declarou-se inocente. Com o julgamento pendente, a fiança foi estabelecida em $13 mil e ela permaneceu presa até poder pagar a fiança.
I knew I was in trouble. I knew that. Yeah, I did. That one wasn't as bad. You know, that wasn't much at all. Actually, I expected it. I expected not to come home for a few years.
Depois de ter passado somente 5 dias presa, Dana foi liberada. A fiança tinha sido paga por um benfeitor.
Out of the blue, out of the clear blue sky, Wade Newton bailed me out. I had no clue. He didn't know me from the morning dew. I mean, he just didn't know me at all.
I think it probably was not as much Dana as it was the fact that this was a kid who came up in show business, had spent her entire life in show business, and all of a sudden found herself on hard times, and there was no one there to help her.
No dia 28 de agosto de 91, quando estava em liberdade condicional, Dana mudou a declaração para culpada. Ela foi condenada a 6 anos de prisão. Mas essa sentença foi suspensa pelo tribunal, e Dana foi condenada à liberdade condicional por 5 anos. Ela também foi obrigada a prestar 400 horas de serviço comunitário. Dana foi obrigada a procurar aconselhamento sobre saúde mental e abuso de drogas. Mas naquela época, Dana não estava pronta para ser libertada. Como parte do tratamento, o terapeuta receitou Valium para ajudar na depressão por causa do álcool.
I knew it wasn't going to work because the moment I walked in there, I had control of everything and I made him think whatever it was I wanted him to think and he bought it. You know, so right there, you know it's not going to work.
Mas o tratamento não deu certo. A atriz ficou viciada em Valium.
She soon became addicted to the prescription medication in the same way she had been